To our regular meeting, Monday, June 9th, 2025. Apologies for the late start. We had to take care of some business before we got in. But you're all here, so thank you for attending. Public participation, or to watch this meeting, folks can watch on YouTube. So www.youtube.com/@dalycitygov under /streams, or you could watch it at https://www.dalycity.org/agendas, or on Comcast channel 27. Public participation, there are three ways to submit public comments. Number one, written comments by meeting day. Number two, submit written comments during the day of meeting. And number three, attend the meeting in person. So if you want to submit comments by meeting day, you can email the city clerk at dalycity.org. Include public comment on the subject line. All written comments received by 4 p.m. on meeting day will be provided to the city council prior to the meeting. Please note, any email comments received after 4 p.m. on the meeting are not guaranteed to be received by the city council prior to the meeting. Comments are not read aloud into the record. Number two, during the meeting, you may visit www.dalycity.org/agendas to submit comments using the public comment form to address the city council on a specific item or during the public comment period. And such comments are delivered to city council and city staff during the meeting and may be read into the record at the time when they are received. Sure. To speak at the meeting in person, please complete a speaker card located at the entrances. And you can submit it to a staff person as early in the meeting as possible. Persons with disabilities who require auxiliary aids or services in attending or participating in this meeting should call the office of the city clerk at 650-991-8078 ASAP. And so, calling to the order, I want to begin our meeting with our land acknowledgement. The city of Daly City acknowledges that we are in the ancestral lands of the Ramaytush Ohlone peoples. We recognize their enduring connection to this region and honor their history, culture, and contributions. As indigenous protectors of this land, we affirm their sovereign rights as the original inhabitants of this land and pay respects to the ancestors, elders, and relatives of the Ramaytush Ohlone peoples. Next is the Pledge of Allegiance, or Pledge of the Flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Okay. Ms. City Clerk, roll call, please.
Ms. DiGiovanni,
Present.
Ms. Perano,
Present.
Mr. Sylvester,
Glenn Sylvester, present.
Ms. Manalo,
Present.
Dr. Rod.
Present. Thank you, Annette. We have one presentation today, a proclamation for Pride Month. So welcome to Pride Month, everyone. We have, so I'm just going to read the proclamation. The proclamation, Pride Month, June 2025. Whereas the city of Daly City recognizes and proclaims the month of June 2025 as Pride Month throughout Daly City. And whereas the city of Daly City observes Pride Month annually with a flag-raising ceremony to honor the history of the LGBTQ+ liberation movement and proudly raises the Progress Pride flag for the 4th year in a row. And whereas Pride Month is a time to honor the history, celebrate the achievements, and reaffirm the rights of the LGBTQ+ community, whose resilience, courage, and contributions have strengthened the fabric of our society. And whereas we acknowledge the profound impact that the LGBTQ+ individuals have had on our communities, culture, and country, advancing progress in civil rights, education, business, healthcare, the arts, public service, and beyond. And whereas despite significant advances, LGBTQ+ people continue to face discrimination, violence, and unequal treatment under the law, underscoring the urgent need for continued advocacy, allyship, and legal protections. And whereas the Pride Month is an opportunity to uplift voices too often marginalized, to recognize the intersectionality of race, gender identity, sexual orientation, and ability, and to celebrate the diversity that makes our community stronger. And whereas as an inclusive and welcoming city, Daly City remains committed to supporting visibility, dignity, and equality for the LGBTQ+ people to enhance the diversity of our community. Now, therefore, I, Dr. Roderick Dasmay-Buwal, Mayor, and the members of the City Council of Daly City hereby proclaim June 2025 as Pride Month in the city of Daly City in support of the LGBTQ+ community, and we affirm our commitment to building a world where everyone, regardless of who they are and who they love, can can openly, authentically, and be fear from fear. Okay, signed and sealed by the mayor and city council of Daly City this 9th day on June 2025. And we also have Tony Bayudan to accept this proclamation.
Yes. How you doing? Good evening, everyone. Mayor Dr. Rod, Vice Mayor Sylvester, Councilmember Di Giovanni, Councilmember Manalo, and Councilmember Perano, City Manager Piccolotti, as well as staff and everyone here tonight. First of all, I just want to say thank you so much for raising the flag 4 years in a row. You know what that means to us? Talking as a person of the LGBTQ community, that means we are being heard and we are being seen. At these times, sometimes we feel like we're not and we're going backwards. But thank you to you. And being a resident of Daly City, we feel we're being seen and we feel we're being heard. So to you and to everyone here, happy Pride. Thank you.
Tony. Just want to open up to our dais if there's anything, Pam.
Thank you, Mayor. Well, I just want to say, from the beginning, when I've ever first met Tony, and we were at Shuggies, and then we had the little posters, and then he would go, "This is my poster," right? We were holding up because it's very important. People feel inclusive, and like you said, now more than ever. And let us not forget the pink triangles. Let us not forget the history. Let us not forget that they're trying to take away. But guess what? They can't take it away. They can try to rename ships. They can try to do whatever. But they're not going to take our love for everyone and our inclusivity or anything else. Because people, who they are, who they love, this is what love is about. So we look forward to seeing you at the Pride Parade and celebrating on June 14th, our San Mateo County Pride Parade. And thank you for being here tonight and a great representation, and that we shall keep moving forward with your community. Your community is our community, and I'm glad you feel inclusive here in Daly City, because every time you ride by and see that flag, you know for sure that it's the progress flag, and that everyone, it doesn't matter. But it is a signal to say we stand strong together, and we stand for everyone, and we're definitely for love, and we're not for hate. So thank you very much. Thank you, Tony. Appreciate everything you do.
Thank you, Councilmember Di Giovanni. Councilmember Perano.
Tony, thank you for being here this evening. It means a lot to all of us and all of us who've known you all these years. I'd like to just highlight the one whereas on this proclamation that we all signed, and it says, as an inclusive and welcoming city, Daly City remains committed to supporting visibility, dignity, and equality for LGBTQ+ people to enhance the diversity of our community. I think that this proclamation really does have all the wonderful points. So I'd like to thank the staff for penning such a potent and very important proclamation. And I appreciate you coming to accept it. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Perano. Are there any other comments? Councilmember Manalo.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Tony, first and foremost, for all that you do. When we first raised the pride flag here in Daly City, it was long overdue. And I remember bringing it up to, at that time, I know, Councilmember Vice Mayor Sylvester about raising the pride flag. And so at that moment when we did, it was something that we knew we had to do to ensure that the community, the LGBTQ plus community, felt safe, and that also that this is Daly City. Love is love, and that we continue to have that on an ongoing basis, regardless of what's happening at the federal level, that at the local level, we are going to be making sure that everyone is supported and heard and has this place here. And I remember also being able to have the privilege of joining the San Francisco Pride Parade with you and Supervisor Canepa. You know, in 2018 and 2022, and celebrating with joy and celebrating with that pride and, you know, just being able to, now when I look back, that was a time many things has happened, and there has been a real, I mean, if we look at like what's happening and transpiring, there is a real threat around and making sure that the young people and elders of the LGBT plus community know that they are welcome. The trans community know that they are welcomed. And that as we celebrate Pride, we also have to continuously ensure that there are spaces and places for us to be able to hear their voices and have their voices heard. And so thank you for being that voice, Tony, and your leadership here in Daly City on the personnel board, as well as all the work that you do for San Mateo County. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Councilmember Manalo. Vice Mayor Glenn Sylvester.
Thank you, Mayor. Tony, good to see you again. You know, I'm going to talk about a few words that I got out of this proclamation, which I believe is also true. For those of you who don't know my previous career, and thank you, Councilmember Manalo, for bringing about the reminder when we first raised the flag 4 years ago. I think it's very, very important. I remember working in law enforcement, and my assignment was in the Castro district. And my partner, who happened to be African-American, we went to the lieutenant, and he says, "You put us in the Castro, is it because we're black?" And the lieutenant, "Okay, I'll take care of that." You know what he did next? Instead of in the car, he put us on the walking beat. But needless to say, I've always had respect for all human beings, regardless, as per what the proclamation says, of regardless of who they are and regardless of whom they love. I think that's a very, very important line in that proclamation. Daly City is a welcoming city, and as such, it's also a diverse city. But the continued awareness that we are all in this together as human beings is what I want to basically proclaim. So thank you so much. Thank you for being who you are, Tony. And if there's anyone more deserving of this proclamation and recognition, it's you. And it's great to be part of Daly City. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I'll keep mine short and sweet. I think that given like the political climate right now, it feels like anything that we talk about intersectionality feels under attack. But I think what we're doing with these proclamations is more than symbolic, but it's to show that we're in solidarity with all the different intersectional identities that represent Daly City to make what Daly City is about. And thank you, Tony, for accepting the proclamation. And you know, for us, it's beyond just raising the flag, but what else can we do in terms of action? And so thank you again. Yeah. All right, so moving along to approval of minutes. Can I get a motion for the approval of minutes of a special meeting of May 27th, 2025?
Motion to approve?
Second?
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Approval of agenda. Can I get a motion for the regular meeting of June 9, 2025?
Motion to approve?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
I think we have a couple of public comments for today. Let's see here. First speaker we have is Nels Delander, organization representative Carpenters Local 217. So Nels, Welcome back again for representing at our council meeting.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, Mayor, City Council, and city staff. My name is Nels Land. I'm representative of Carpenter's Local 217 of San Mateo County. I'm here tonight to introduce pre-qualification ordinance document that will help Daly City make sure our public construction projects are done by responsible, qualified, and community-focused contractors. This ordinance applies to larger projects, those worth about $1 million and more. It sets the clear rules who can bid on these projects, so we have the best value for tax-paying dollars and supporting jobs right here in our community. Here's what it does. First, it makes sure that contractors use state-approved apprenticeship programs. This means workers are properly trained and safe on the job. Second, it encourages hiring local workers that keep the job and the money in our community stay in our own community. Third, it requires contractors to provide health care for workers so they stay healthy and productive. These are public work projects, so the healthcare cost is already added to the prevailing wage. As a field representative, I personally seen workers being cheated by irresponsible contractors on public work jobs, even here in Daly City. These unqualified contractors contribute to wage theft, misclassification of workers, and tax fraud. These crimes should not be familiarized with Daly City. This is about building smarter, safer, and stronger, while supporting local workers and using public funds wisely. I ask for your support by putting this ordinance on an agenda item. Let us invest in the Daly City future together. Thank you.
Thank you, Nels, for coming through and your words. Next speaker we have is Fernando Montañez.
Right. Excuse me. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right. So good evening, Council, Mayor. My name is Fernando, and I'm here as a concerned citizen in the midst of ongoing escalations between communities throughout California, especially in LA and here in San Francisco, and immigration law enforcement agents. We here in Daly City have our own history with ICE, when back in 2019, Jose Armando Escobar Lopez was handed over to ICE, which was legal under the Senate Bill 54, also known as the California Values Act. Fortunately, justice was served, and we have improved significantly and have served justice ever since. However, as an immigrant myself, I want to echo the fear and the anxiety that many of our immigrant communities are feeling right now. I'm urging and encouraging you as council to act now and not wait until a situation comes about and worsen. I urgently ask you to reaffirm our status as a sanctuary city, ensure that we will uphold the California Values Act, and come up with additional ways to support our immigrant communities and promote public safety and service to all, regardless of their status. Because as we celebrate our communities, and we're doing incredible with those practices and events, we also have to remember that we need to protect these communities of color. So I'm urging you to agendize this discussion, and let's have a conversation about it. So thank you.
All right. Thanks, Fernando, for coming through. Okay. Next up is the consent agenda. Can I get a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Motion to approve?
Yeah, first and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Approved. Next up is public hearings. Item number 12, public hearing, the notice of lien and special assessment to rental property. And we have Director, Mr. Tim Nevin.
Good evening, Dr. Mayor, Honorable Vice Mayor, and council members. Item number 12 is a public hearing, notice of lien and special assessment to rental property. It is recommended that the City Council approve the notice of lien and special assessment to rental property for properties included in the attachment with the County of San Mateo for all unpaid business license, rental property taxes, and penalties. Notices were sent on May 14th, 2025 to the rental property owners in an effort to bring them into compliance. The past due taxes were due on October 1st, 2024. Proper notice of the public hearing was published by the city clerk. Notices of intent to lien rental property were mailed to past due and unresponsive property owners included in the attachment. This notice provided the property owners the opportunity to clear the possible lien and validate information provided by the County of San Mateo. All unpaid taxes will be assessed on the upcoming fiscal year 2025-2026 property tax bill if they have not been paid to the City of Daly City by July 9th, 2025, about 1 month from now. In the current fiscal year 2025, projected revenue collection of unpaid business license rental property tax from the County of San Mateo is approximately $218,000. Staff recommends the City Council conduct a public hearing and approve the notice of lien and special assessment to real property for properties listed in the attachment. And staff is available to provide any additional information desired by the mayor or council members. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Nevin. Are there any questions or comments? All right. Seeing none, can I get a motion to open the public hearing?
So moved.
Second?
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Seeing that there are no speaker cards for this item, can I
Motion
get
to
a motion to
close.
close?
Second?
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Can I get a motion to adopt the resolution by roll call?
Glenn Sylvester motion.
Okay.
Second?
Second? Okay. Ms. City Clerk, can we get a roll call vote, please?
Ms. DiGiovanni?
Aye.
Ms. Perano?
Aye.
Mr. Sylvester?
Glenn Sylvester, aye.
Ms. Manalo?
Aye.
Dr. Rod?
Aye. Motion passes. Thank you.
Mr. Nevin.
Mr. Nevin. Going on to item number 13, the introduction of ordinance adding chapter 15.32.280 of Title 15 of the Daly City Municipal Code, subject fire hazard severity zones. We have Mr. Whitner.
Chiefs.
Honorable Mayor, Honorable Vice Mayor, City Council, and, there we go. Honorable Mayor, Vice Mayor, City Council, and City Staff. My name is Craig Whitner, Battalion Chief with the North County Fire Authority. Background on this is the state legislature has given orders to the California Department of Forestry and Fire Protection, i.e. CAL FIRE, and the State Fire Marshal to create fire hazard severity zone maps. They've done so for years throughout the state in what's called the SRA, or State Responsibility Area. What's new is they've finally created an LRA, or Local Responsibility Area maps. And in February 24th of this year, CAL FIRE released those LRA, Local Responsibility Area maps, fire hazard severity zones. State law requires CAL FIRE coordination with the State Fire Marshal to identify areas in the state as moderate, high, and very high fire hazard severity zones, utilizing a consistent statewide model based on the severity of fire hazard that is expected to prevail in those areas. Fire hazard severity zone maps evaluate hazard and not risk, and are based on the physical conditions that create a likelihood and expected fire behavior over a 30 to 50-year period. All areas within the city of Daly City have been designated as moderate. Insurance companies use their own sophisticated risk models to make decisions about property insurance. And then the code further requires that we make the maps available for public review and comment, which we did so right away, 30-day period. And then we're in the period now, we have 120 days to adopt the map as presented by the State Fire Marshal. And then after which we will present the ordinance to the State Board of Forestry within a 30-day period. And I'm available for questions if you have any.
Thank you, Mr. Battalion Chief. Are there any questions, comments from my colleagues? Okay. I have one question. So I know the fires in LA are not comparable to the topography of Daly City. Do you know the type of endangerment like Pacific Palisades was compared to Daly City? Because I know we were cities on the coast. We both get like this kind of like coastal front, but then we also have like hills and dry topographies similar to places like Pacific Palisades.
So of the fire hazard severity zones that apply throughout the state, there are, of course, 3 zones. Very high is the worst of the 3. The middle of the road is moderate, is high, and then the lowest of the 3 is moderate. And that is the areas identified within the city of Daly City. We don't have the same type of weather, topography, and fuel models that they do in Pacific Palisades. We don't have the fire history here as well. It's a different climate. You can certainly see how one might not be able to distinguish, but our business is to distinguish those. So we do not have the same type of threat as the Palisades.
Thank you, Battalion Chief. Are there any other questions? Councilmember Perano.
Thank you for being here. I just had a quick question. With regards to well, for instance, we went to Arden Park and we had some families come down and ask questions when I was there. You were there, and as soon as they asked me, I took them to you. But the question I think is mainly sometimes residents, they're unsure whose responsibility, especially if they're on a hill or a mountain, and where their property line are and what their responsibilities are for their property, hence, what belongs to the city, how much up from, the hill on the road. And so there was one gentleman who mentioned, there's letters that go out and warnings, especially if certain homeowners are not taking care of their responsibility. And I was just wondering how that is going for you as summertime is coming, or whoever would like to answer is fine.
Put in perspective, the city of Daly City for many, many years has had one vegetation management ordinance in place for Southern Hills. That is the only location where we enforce the vegetation management requirements. So we encourage everybody to trim their grass, their brush, and that. But the only location and where we're at for that wildfire event, those people do get a notice from the city, from the fire department, saying you must clear your brush and the gorse and all of that there's within that area. But no other area within the city of Daly City has a vegetation management ordinance placed upon it. So it's really an education thing. You'll see dry grass kind of in hillsides in different places, but we just encourage them to, clear it. We don't have enforcement responsibilities or even capabilities to make people other than in the Southern Hills area.
By the way, ma'am, I did return that gentleman's inquiry. I owe him one more phone call, though. Yes.
I'd like to thank you for that. I never doubted it 1 minute that you were not going to do that. So just for my information or for our information, once you send a letter and let's say they don't comply, what are the next steps?
Well, there's a process built in, basically compliance. In the time that I've been here, the last 3 years, we haven't had to go to basically turn up the heat, if you will.
Okay.
So basically, there would be a series of steps taken to gain compliance.
And ultimately, I mean, we've had, in the time this ordinance has been in place, probably 100% compliance. I don't know in all my time here where we've had to do any forced compliance. Ultimately, if somebody didn't do it, we would need to go in and bring a contractor in, clean the property, and then lien the property. But to my knowledge, all my time here, we've never had an event that's been like that.
I guess the last input is that because of your diligence and for the diligence of the homeowners, we don't seem to, knock on wood, we're not hearing about a lot, every year that goes by, we don't hear a lot about large fires. So I want to.
And I think a lot of times, a large fire, Los Angeles, a large fire is what you saw. A large fire here could be a hillside that gets into 2 homes and damages or burns those 2 homes, and that's going to be a major event for them. But we don't see loss of a complete community like you've seen in Paradise, Palisades, other communities. But that doesn't mean it's not going to be, a hillside on fire, 1 or 2 acres can run right up into somebody's home, and then we're, fortunately we're going to not have a conflagration where we lose a whole community, but you could have damage or destruction to a home. So, we do want everybody, even though they're not being forced to comply, we want everybody to be aware and clear their brush and their grass so that if there is a fire, it's easier for us to, suppress that fire.
Thank you. Thank you both. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember. Councilmember DiGiovanni.
Councilmember Perano, I just want to piggyback that because from what I've known, like you said, we have any incidents, it's because of the great communication and the multiple things that you guys communicate and built relationships with a lot of the homeowners. And they go out, like you said, and explain everything. And then they know how far they have to cut back. And then if they can't do it, like with their seniors or disabled, they've helped them in many situations throughout the community. And then even our neighbors, of course, in Brisbane, they have a little fire over there, or San Bruno Mountain, or, I mean, people are cognizant that can go, that can just go. But great job. I mean, the communication has been the program, the going out, and then everyone communicates.
I kind of have to give a lot of credit to Mother Nature as you see the fog come over each afternoon. That's a major contributor to the fact that we don't get major fires.
Right.
And every 4th of July, we augment our staffing. Everybody works. We're out there, and sometimes we have our windshield wipers on. But but that's the benefit. But we do get a couple dry days during the summer where we add staffing. We're ready to respond if we get something. But we have very favorable conditions compared to other parts of California.
Are there any other comments? Vice Mayor Glenn Sylvester.
Thank you, Chief Whitmer, for the report. Good questions from my colleagues. One question, how's our water? Water, pressure.
So to my knowledge, we have a great water system. And that question had come up a few different times because of Southern California, and
Right.
not aware of any deficiencies.
You agree, Chief?
Yeah.
Pressure's okay, and we have
I will
access?
give you an example of how good our water system is, that we have 1,500 gallon a minute fire engines,
15
pumpers.
Gallon per
We
minute.
have some hydrants that we don't even have to. The pressure is 150, which is what we pump at, and the volume is more than 1,500 gallons a minute. So we literally transfer water from the hydrant to the fire without a lot of assistance, to put it kind of in simple terms like that. So Daly City has always had a really high quality, high grade water system that has never been an issue here in this community.
Thank you. That's all I have.
Councilmember Manalo.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just want to thank you both for bringing this. I know it's kind of something that you have to do, but it's so important to do. I know that when I'm sitting on the JPA, the North County Fire Authority, one question that I did ask was having materials in different languages so that those in our community that may be monolingual could access really these tips that you all are sharing. And I have noticed that there is now pamphlets in different language, which I do want to say thank you for listening. My question is, are there language accessible pamphlets that are directly involved to kind of brush fire, et cetera, knowing that most of our fires, as you mentioned, it's like, hey, be careful in the kitchen, never leave it unattended. But, just understanding we're at climate change, we still have lots of foggy, misty days. But honestly, there's a lot more foggy, misty days than I was growing up.
Right.
So,
Yeah, and the primary document that we have is called Ready, Set, Go, and it's in multiple languages. We've, besides what you may see, at our headquarters where we have all the pamphlets in different languages, we don't have big enough stand to put all the language. We've had the major languages that have been translated, but we also have them all on the website. So if you go to our website, you can get any of our brochures are available on the website. And when we go out to all the events, we have a card that allows you to go to a link that will take you and get you a different, whatever language type that you might need for that particular information, public education that you need. So, and it also talks about what to do to harden your home in that Ready, Set, Go, besides what to do if there is an emergency, a fire in that, and how to be prepared to evacuate, what to take. And it's not any different than if we had to evacuate because of some other thing besides a wildfire. But it's all right there.
Wonderful, thank you. I'd love to see that we have that in place now. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember. Manalo, can I get a motion to open the public hearing, please?
Motion to open public hearing?
Second?
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
I don't see any speak cards for that. Can I get a motion to close the public hearing, please?
Motion to close?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Can I get a motion for the city attorney to read by title only?
Motion?
I'll
Second.
Sylvester, second.
Second. Okay. Okay. All those in favor say aye.
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 Okay, thank you. This is an ordinance of the City of Daly City, adding Chapter 15.32.2080 of Title 15 of the Daly City Municipal Code regarding fire hazard severity zones. And a council member may introduce the ordinance.
I'll go ahead and introduce the ordinance.
Second?
Okay. And no vote? Okay. All right. Thank you, Town Chief.
Thank
So
you.
much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Off to appointments. Do we have any appointments for this evening? Okay. I have one. I'd like to appoint Rosario Maquihilas for the
Second.
Arts and Culture. We have a first. We have a second.
Second?
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Rosario, you're set to be in the Arts and Culture Commission. Thank you. Moving down to reports. Are there any council committee reports?
Council committee, I think.
Vice Mayor Glenn Sylvester.
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to advise that the mayor and I met as part of the ad hoc committee for the Ethics Committee. The matter is ongoing, and as we get more information and move down the road, the information will be brought before council. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Vice Mayor. Other council committee reports? Vice Mayor, Councilmember Manal.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. There was a council committee on the Bayshore development. What is it called? I have it. What is our committee called, Vice Mayor?
Bayshore Revitalization.
There you go. The Bayshore Revitalization Committee with Vice Mayor and I, and we met with staff just on the updates and regarding the parcel that we own as a city, and just potentially next steps, because we did decide on having an affordable housing developer on that site. Unfortunately, that developer is no longer able to move forward, and so we're really looking at the next steps in regards to really in making sure that that vacant land is used to the best potential. The topography is really hard, but we also know it's adjacent to a lot of the development that we are envisioning for the overall Cow Palace area. And we recently approved the battery storage. And so if we're looking at some congruent or development around that particular area, it's really important for us to be proactive in seeing how that can move forward. So, yep, I think that's pretty much where we're at. I think we're gonna have more committee meetings, right? So, thank you.
All right.
And then I think
Seafood City? Yeah. Oh, yes. On Monday, June 2nd, Councilmember Manalo and I had a meeting with Tatum Mothershead concerning the Seafood City mural. It looks like it's progressing along. We had some feedback. So hopefully that development and that mural will be up and going. So more details to come. Yeah. And then another one? Can't. like we're all going through our calendars. Like,
Yeah.
Council committee or where?
oh
are we at?
yeah, yeah.
We're
Are
on,
we still in council committee or city
Yes,
council?
council committee.
Okay. PC?
Is that the?
Do you have PC?
PCE?
Oh no, PCE.
Oh, okay.
I think that's it for me. Yeah. I don't know anything else.
Okay. Oh, if you want, I could start with city council.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll go
I
down
think
to
that's
city
where-
councilor. Sorry about that.
No, it's okay. It's been busy, Mr.
Yeah.
Mayor. So I just wanted to say for city council, I was able to represent for the city of Daly City at the Jefferson Adult School graduation with individuals receiving their citizenship, general education diploma, and graduating high school. It's always so wonderful to see such dedicated community members reaching their goals. And Trustee Rosie Tejada was there, as well as Principal Mark Bergier and Superintendent Tony Presta. I was honored to represent as a guest speaker, and I want to thank both Mayor Das Magwal and Vice Mayor Glenn Sylvester for reaching out to see if I was available in that respect. Also, in the Housing Leadership Council of San Mateo County Policy Breakfast, that happened with a robust discussion around housing issues in the county. There were policy panels inclusive on the federal level, which we had our Congress Representative Kevin Mullen, and also at the supervisor level with Supervisor Gauthier. And on the local electeds panel, myself, Council Member Phoebe Shinvankat, and also Council Member Jeff Smith. It was a very opportunity to share our experiences around how we address the local housing, affordable housing shortages, as well as strategies. Also, we had President David Canepa, who was along with the city county manager, Mike Callaghy, open up the breakfast with the state of housing in San Mateo County that morning. Also, the San Bruno Mountain Day improvement was really wonderful. So San Bruno Mountain is such a beautiful place. I always say when folks move over, and I know Mayor has the pleasure of living right by it, that we have actually an amazing like outdoor space and experience that's just right there. And then we don't have to go far away, like 10 minutes, 5 minutes away. So during high school, when I was at Jefferson, I actually did cross-country meets up there, and I remember that fondly, trying to just focus on the end goal. But to see it enhanced for the community, to have a creation of a walking path, which people just walk around it, but in more intentional design is really amazing. I had brought my son Ethan so that he could also see that. During COVID, San Bruno Mountain was also a very safe haven where there was a lot of open space so people can really ensure that there was space away from one another. And so now seeing that being enhanced is wonderful. I want to say that it was great to see our city manager, Tom Piccolotti, and colleague Teresa Prano there, just celebrating with the county along improvements in our precious San Bruno Mountain. And then also, I am so excited that Native Elements was the band for the senior prom casino night, because I thought they were no longer together, but for some reason they're back. And to see our seniors and older adults dancing to Native Elements was so amazing. So Native Elements is a local band with local folks that grew up in Daly City. Reggae, the genre is reggae, dance hall, and they can do all different genres. But it was really wonderful. I want to say outstanding job and amazing job to the city staff. And I know it was the first Bayshore casino or a big event out there, and responding to really, the surveys that we heard is bringing the older adults to the event. So there was really transportation. So, and I heard from Denise that it was the largest attendance of having that sort of social event, which they did request for. I think the first one was the Hawaiian hula, and now they have literally like card games. I mean, not real gambling, but it looked like they were in the casino. But I mean, like it's not the real gambling. Exactly. And so that was really wonderful to see. Thank you to staff. I also, joined Mayor Lurie in San Francisco in their Pride flag raising. Senator Scott Wiener was there, Assembly Member Matt Haney, and Board President of San Francisco, Raphael Mandelman, was also there. And just to be there in solidarity with the community over there. Also, the graduation of San Mateo Leadership Council in South San Francisco. I want to congratulate one of our staff, Linnell Segutin, for being the class of 2025. So it was so wonderful to see that. Also, one of the capstone projects for this year for the San Mateo Leadership Program, I know that Maybelle Manio had worked with looking at the opportunity to have a business improvement district working with the cohort there. And so there was, a lot of being able to work with San Mateo Leadership Council and how we work together as a county. And so that was so awesome to see that we also had one of our own graduate from there. And then also, shortly, I know Mayor will elaborate on this, which, he had brought up during his tenure, Children's Day. But I had to bring my children to Children's Day. How could you not bring your children? So I brought my kids to that. They always had a great time, but I couldn't stay too long. But it was really wonderful to see. I see the bright future ahead with the Daly City Chinese Youth Committee. They are vocal, they lead with action, and that was really wonderful to see. But I had to run over to the Harajuku Olympia Fest in Stonestown. I was really humbled to receive an award from the community for community work alongside with Rudy Corpus Jr. of United Players. And also someone who's a teacher at Westmore High School, who we went to college with at San Francisco State University, Joel Vargas. And so it was really, I brought my kids there, and it was wonderful to be in community. I did try to swing by the Bayshore Sanitation 100th birthday, but I had just missed it. So as I missed it, me and my daughter, she rolled with me that day. We went over to San Mateo County Fairgrounds to, go to Pacific Islanders Day later in the afternoon, which was really actually not too hot because, us Daly City folks can't hang in hot weather. And so it was like, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's not too hot. So we were able to, spend a little bit of time there. And then later in that evening, the St. Augustine Children's Choir had an event to help bring them to Austria. So, the St. Augustine Choir is really, I would say, world-renowned because they travel all around the world. Some of them are children that are from our Daly City community and also South San Francisco community. And so it's really wonderful. Congratulations to Director Christine for your amazing work. And then that evening also joined the U.S. Ilocano National Association with their annual event of Rainy putting the crown on their new queens. So that was really wonderful. And then on Sunday morning, I was able to join the Philippine Baseball Association that has just been started up and down California and also the United States to really promote baseball and hopefully build a pipeline of Philippine baseball players in the Olympics and also in our national teams. Lately, the statistics have shown that there's been a lot of young youth that are really doing well in baseball. And so I don't know. Okay, so they had Ginger from NBC Bay Area, and then we were the two girls that were there, or two women, and both of us were like, as long as we hit, because it was a hit-a-thon. I was like, we're like, as long as we hit the ball, then that would be good. And so the youth was great. They guided us, and it was a hit-a-thon. So for that, you had 5 tries twice. I got 3 out of 5 both times. So I was just happy. It may have not gone far, but I made contact. I think it's really amazing. So they use the SI, what do you call it, at Sharp Park, the SI playing field over there that they have. But I thought maybe in the future, when we have Sacred Heart, that there could be some sort of also collaboration there in Marchbanks Park. Since, a lot of, youth go to those schools as well and are really prominent youth baseball players, just to support that endeavor. Yeah, and then that's it for me. It's been busy, but I think there's going to be, I look forward to August. I can't wait for August, but thank you for that. It's just been really wonderful. And last but not least, I know we had someone come up earlier, but this is different and it's not responding directly to that. But I did forward Mr. Mayor the request to hopefully be able to agendize the support of what the carpenters mentioned earlier today. I think that, it's important for us to ensure that the safety of our community as in regards to workers. When I heard, some of the issues, that was a concern around safety, but understanding that, health is already required, and that's something that we don't, it's not necessarily adding anything new. But Mr. Mayor, I know I had sent over to you the email, and I hope that we're able to support this type of agenda for the workers and the carpenters in the near future in that regard. And then lastly, it's been really, really hard lately to see what's happening just generally in our community at large, especially with our immigrant community. And just know that as Daly City, that's why we did a legal clinic with Asian Pacific Islander Legal Outreach, who serves all community members as far as whatever they may need in any legal aspect. But that resource is being shared through our social media. But in regards to, what's happening to our immigrant communities, we are a community filled with immigrants. And I think that it's so important, and I know this is something all my colleagues share, that we are a welcoming city. When I first got on to city council, I pushed to become a sanctuary city when I was a freshman council member. We end up becoming a sanctuary state, which encompassed us as a city. But this is real issues, and there is fear in our community. And know that as our leaders in this community, that we are here for you, and that also we have, even in the past, instituted ways to ensure that our public service officers will not assist in, any ICE situations. And so that we had stated that, we had implemented that, if we need to restate that, because, I feel there's a lot that is happening, and it is our community. The community is us. And if you look at Daly City, we are a community of immigrants. And so if there's any continuous ways that we can build space, let's do so. But I think we've iterated that over and over, whether it was in 20, when we reiterated love, not hate, whatnot. But these are different times. We are in different times. And 2016, this is not 2016. This is actually different times. But this is the time that us as a community can come together. As leaders here, we come together and just be able to lift our communities up in any way that we can. And so that resource is there. I think it's going to be in the social media, the legal clinic that we have, but also know that we are united and that we are a city of immigrants. And so what that means, we stand together with our immigrant community. So thank you so much for allowing me to share space, Mayor, especially during this time. And I know that we are going to be a resilient community, and we're going to be able to continue to stay strong for one another. Thank you.
Thanks, Councilmember Manalo, for the award, but also those comments. It really means a lot to me and our community. Are there any other,
Teresa, you want to go?
Teresa?
You want to go?
Oh, well, mine's quick.
It's fine.
Thank you. It's
Mine will be
kind of hard
quick,
to
too.
come after that one. But I would just say is that I did enjoy the San Bruno Mountain groundbreaking. It was amazing. It was a beautiful day, and I looked at the amazing space where people can picnic and walk and enjoy nature minutes away from our homes. And if Daly City's sunny, it's going to be sunny up there, and it's a beautiful space. And I was happy to be there. As well as we were all, did we state this one? We were all at the ribbon cutting for Los Agaves.
Oh, yeah.
And that was an amazing ribbon cutting, I thought, and it was well received. Beautiful music, great food, and that's there, the corner of 87th and Juniper Serra. So that's a great place to visit and try out. And I attended the San Mateo County Fair networking reception. There's always something great to see. I hope many of you got to enjoy it. And if you didn't, let's look forward to next year. And then I was going to leave the Children's Day at Geller Park to you. We were all there as well, and I enjoyed it. So anyway, I was going to make mine brief. There you go.
Thank you, Councilmember Perano.
Yeah,
Councilmember
I'll try to keep mine brief as well. And then just want to say, continue on what Councilmember Manalo was saying about appreciate the opportunity for the legal aid. I was wondering, because given the temperature of the climate of them wanting to be in person, a lot of them asked if there was call-in numbers that they could just call in rather than come in person. They're a little shy about coming in person.
Yeah, if you look at the flyer, it's actually you have to make an appointment.
Okay.
So it's not necessarily a flyer that says where you're going to meet. It's
Okay.
actually you have to make an appointment.
But yeah, okay, so they'll have just not exactly have to be one spot, because some of them are a little hesitant, but thank you very much for that information. And also, yes, the Chinese youth, they actually they always lead the event, and they're from Westmore, and they're from Jefferson. The teacher, Mr. Wong, he teaches at Jefferson, but he embraces, we all saw, all the children, and they have a place to be. And that, to me, is very important, no matter how you feel, because they were being targeted as well by being removed as international students and what have you. But yet they found a space where they can grow and be together and express their beautiful culture that we all appreciate, with the paintings, the music, and all that comes with it. And these are our future leaders, and we need to call them in there, put our arms around them, and let them know they are welcome. And And there's a couple other events that'll defer because of the time. But I do would like, because it is the political climate. I know I've asked this several times or mentioned it, but given the political climate, I saw where there's federal legislation that's going to be introduced, but it'll be inclusive of all faiths, including it's the JCRC has introduced a bill on the federal level for protection of mosques, synagogues, churches, and wherever anyone chooses to worship Buddhist and whomever. Because there was 9,300 incidents in the Jewish community as of 2024, and that we know how it's already escalated. So I had asked that if Jonathan, and he was even here last year asking if he could present for free about anti-Semitism for our city council, our staff, and whomever to learn more about the history, to learn more about certain things that exist and for education, just like any other group. And so that would be great if that, I know I mentioned the last time we were together. And I also want to give people a little concept about the history. So most people know that being an Italian Jewish person, but I want to let you know that we have people in our community that were in internment camps. And that wasn't that long ago. One of them lives in my building, and she actually has spoken with Carol Matsumoto because they were children, as Japanese children, in the internment camps. And they did it in South City, but we have never had the pleasure, and she's currently 94. And I would hope that maybe we can invite her and Carol Matsumoto again to give their experiences of what it was to be in the Japanese internment camp. And one of the camps happens to be in Pacifica, near Pacifica, the Sharp Park, in that internment camp. And if people go to even the Italian heritage, and it hasn't been labeled yet. So we've been working with the consul generals of Germany and Italy and Japan, Japanese. It was actually 3 cultures that were put in these internment camps. And they call them internment camps. So most people don't, and that's right here in our own backyard. So with the political climate going on, I know that each of us really care about our community, and it's very sensitive of what is going on, and that we want people to have their First Amendment rights, but to make sure that those that want to come in and upset peaceful protests, please do not, because these people are really trying. They're trying of all backgrounds just to make a living and just to be secure with their family. And that we have San Francisco, we have San Jose, we have everything that's going on right at our back door. And we know that in California, we are a target. So we really must come together and to let these people come and tell their stories so we can learn. I spoke with someone, a Holocaust survivor yesterday, and she said, when we said never forget, was there a question mark at the end of that? Because it seems like now it is. It used to say that we say never forget, and we meant it, and never again. But now it appears in this political climate, there's a question mark. And I think we all need to be aware of it, and that we all need to look out for one another, be aware of your surroundings, not to pump fear, but we need to culminate around each other and realize that we are one community, we are all God's children, and that the experiences of those that have come before us, we must learn and listen to them well. And these are survivors that have come out of the Holocaust, the Japanese internment camps, and Ukraine, that actually live in our community, Myanmar, everywhere, and that this is real. This is real life. Did we think we would be here? I don't think so. But we're here. So let us come together, as I know we will, and realize that in Daly City, yes, we are here. But if you do go out this weekend and you do participate, please make sure that, be aware of your surroundings, peacefully, which I know it has been, and we are better than that, because love will conquer hate. And I'm a firm believer in it. My father perished in the Auschwitz, and it's a lesson that we all must learn. And we have so many in our community have lost loved ones. So let us not be any of us or any of those in the future. And we have as elected officials, I know we have the ability and the wherewithal together. And I like it that we're together on this because it's how it should be. And it's how we will be because we all have different backgrounds. So thank you for the time. And I look forward that we all five of us are together for our community. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember. Are there any other council or city council reports? Vice Mayor Glenn Sylvester.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to first start off with the Polynesian Day, Pacific Islanders together at the county fair in San Mateo. I was there with the city manager, attended the prayer ceremony. Always kind of look forward to Polynesian Day because if you don't know, Ms. Raina Meafua, we all know her, but she managed to get onto the board at the San Mateo County Fairgrounds, and as such, the North has a representation down there. Because I will tell you, I've been here 33 years in Daly City, and until Ms. Rayner got on the board, I would never go to the fairgrounds. But I make it a point to always go, especially for that. So something for that one reason, I always try to attend, and thank you, Mr. Piccolotti, for being there. And I'm gonna give you another reason in a moment, because that's another event I attended, which brought back memories. I'm about to explain that in a moment. Then we rushed back to school, Children's Day in Daly City, and the entire council was there. And when I walked in there, I saw all the kids, and they're basically Asian, but it was open to everybody. But still, the fact of all the kids and learning about the culture is very, very important. And I know it's open to everyone. So I was really impressed. I would like to thank all the sponsors who sponsored that event as well. It was a great event. Okay, getting back to Polynesian Day. Mayor, you'd probably like this. My son offered me tickets to go see a performance, and it was for my granddaughter. And okay, you know, do the obligatory thing, just go. And so I walked down there to San Mateo Skyline, and it was WSPA. And if you've ever seen a production from WSPA, a Daly City group here in Daly City, I mean, it's a production. So as I sat in the seat and waiting for my granddaughter to come up, they had these different dances that they didn't have before. And one of them was Hawaiian dancing. And my son had told me, you know, Dad, little granddaughter, she's not coming up till act number 8, so you can go back to sleep. So by the Hawaiian dancing, which was act number 3, I woke up and I've been taping everything. The reason being, because I reminisced, I had the kids over the following day at the house, and I showed them a video to which I used to do Hawaiian dancing, wearing the grass skirt and everything, and we used to go out for competitions. And the only reason why I did that, so I can watch over my girls when they were doing it. But I did it, and we traveled and we danced. So I would play the video, and I said to my grandkids, "That's your mommy there. That's your daddy there." And they said, "How long was that?" 25 years ago. And then I can see the look on my daughter's faces when they reminisce as to what they used to do. And so I asked my granddaughter, "You want to learn Hawaiian?" "No, Papa, I want to do hip hop." Okay, that's another one that they offer at WSPA. So, I mean, WSPA, it brought back memories, and as such, I'm so proud to have WSPA as a part of Daly City, because at the end, when all the kids come up and the adults, I'm trying to count them in a row, and then they wave hi. It's over 100. And can you imagine the production when you have at least 100 people? Oh my goodness, my hat's off to WSPA. So that was the culmination of that. Now, I was biting my tongue as I heard comments on the council regarding the current state of affairs. And I would like to reiterate that Daly City is a welcoming city. And as such, our police department knows that they won't basically assist the efforts of the federal government as to what they're trying to do. But know this, if you commit a crime or if you commit vandalism, I would expect our police department to act and react. You have the First Amendment right, freedom of speech, and the freedom to protest peacefully. But once you commit a violation of the law, you know, that's where it stops. So I want to bring that point out. I think that's very important. And there's a saying, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Well, granted, throughout my life, I have not learned much about cultures, but I've been in a profession where I've dealt with various cultures. But even coming onto this council, and when folks come to this council and they have issues, I try to put myself in their shoes before making a decision. And I think that's very important. And not a day goes by when I may go down like at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, almost every night, because I'm binge watching. Binge watching about the Civil War. Never knew much about the Civil War. Binge watching on the Vietnam War. Binge watching on the Holocaust. Binge watching on slavery. You know, there are so many cultures, and for you to understand the cultures, you must learn about the cultures. So I think that's unique here in the city because of what I heard my colleagues indicating, that if you have folks who want to come in and talk, I'm open. I want to learn more. And I think that's very, very important, and that would bring us all together, just like a Rubik's Cube. What does good look like? So that we can have dissenting opinions, but if you know the history, then I think that would help quite a bit. And I know, Mayor, you're part of academia and you deal with this all the time, but there are so many cultures in the city, and I think the more we can learn about it, the better. So I just wanted to put that out there, and thank you all so much for taking the time to hear what I have to say.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I concur with WSPA, such a great institution, but also give a shout out to the parents that do all the hair, the makeup, and, you know, really trying to also be counselor to their kids, performance anxiety. That's a lot. It's a lot to take on. So, yeah, shout out to all the folks, Malu, and the rest of the folks at WSPA. I'm going to keep my council committee reports pretty quick. Again, for the 3rd annual Daly City Chinese Youth Commission Children's Day, they came up to me 3 years ago, and I got to give a big shout out to Victoria Mabilang for making that connection. And I agreed to it, but I missed the first 2, and this is actually the first one I actually went to. And, you know, at a young age, at their young ages, to put together and work together with staff, it provides a capital that they'll have for the rest of their lives in terms of event coordinating and putting together programs that I didn't really experience till I got to college. So what they pulled off as a whole group, along with Mr. Wong, kudos to them. Along with the Pacific Islander area San Mateo County Fair, wow, Sammy Johnson was a great performer. Family and I got to see him perform. Maybe a potential artist for Top of the Hill Festival, October 18th. We'll see. But yeah, it was an amazing, amazing event, and shout outs to the folks that put together the whole county fair. June 4th, I had the opportunity to travel back down to where I grew up in the Empire, Riverside, California. I was the 2nd annual keynote speaker for the Asian American Pacific Islander graduation. They had over 90 graduates that was part of the program, and talking about history. I couldn't believe it was been 25 years since I graduated from undergrad.
Wow.
And just to see all the different organizations
That's when I was dancing.
to see the organization that I was a part of and organizations that my wife and I created are still intact at UC Riverside. And it's funny because they come to me like I'm like Yoda of UCR Asian American organizing activism. It was actually really cool to see them, and then to see folks that are from the Bay Area that graduated UCR, and they're like, "Can I take a picture with you? I know I'm not in Daly City, but I'm in Union City. I'm from South City." And I was like, "Well, that's the closest thing to home for you all, so let's just take a picture." But it was a great, great time, and I just want to thank the people from the Asian Pacific student programs that allowed me to speak, and I'm still connected with them. Long story short, the person that created the Asian Pacific student programs at UC Riverside is now the Dean of Ethnic Studies at SF State, who I still work with today, Dr. Grace Yu. And she's been a mentor to myself and my wife since we were both like 15 years old. And I told that in my speech, that these programs are not something you just get in and get out, but these are long life networks, your chosen family. And then some future events. June 11th, we have our Philippine flag raising, 11 a to 1 p. City Hall. Please come. Food by the Philippine Bayanihan Resource Center. So thank you to Tita Perla with that. There's a lot of things going on June 11th. There's also the Juneteenth celebration at the county. So if you're interested in the Juneteenth flag raising, it's the same day as the Philippine flag raising. But San Mateo County Supervisor Lisa Gautier's office is sponsoring the event. It's from 10 a.m. It starts at 10 a.m. on June 11th at County Center, Redwood City. They'll be offering a Juneteenth proclamation, and that will talk about Black freedom, resilience, and unity. And just like the county and also here in the city, Daly City, our offices will be closed June 19th, 2025. So there's a lot of things happening June 11th, in a couple of days. And then talking about the Daly City Free Legal Clinic. So please, if there's any information that we already discussed, please go onto our Instagrams or social media. If you're on Instagram, it's Daly City Gov, and check out all the information there. I believe the clinic that we're talking about, sponsored by the API Legal Outreach, is June 13th and June 27th. There's a QR code. Please scan that QR code for more information. And that's it for me. I'm going to skip it down to item number 16, are there any staff reports?
Through the chair, I'll keep it real brief. I was able to attend a couple of the same events, the PI Day at the fair and the Children's Festival at Gellert. But I think I'm going to talk to Nita, see if there's any home videos of Vice Mayor Sylvester doing the hula. So, I'm sure we could dig some up. But thank you, Council. Appreciate it.
All right. And then, I know, right? And so now we get down to our adjournment. We have a few adjournment and memories, and I'd like to start off with Councilmember Manalo.
Thank you very much, Mayor. I'd like to adjourn in one of the labor movement's strong leader, the passing of Louisa Blue. She was a fierce advocate for working people and the first AAPI leader elected to serve as an executive vice president for SEIU. She's also a Filipino Women's Network sister. I got to meet her in 2015 when I was first awarded with the Emerging Leader Award. And she fought cancer, unfortunately passed away from it. She's a longtime activist in the Filipino American community, a prominent labor leader, made history when she was elected as the International Executive Vice President of SEIU. She also was one of the highest ranking Asian Americans in the labor movement. Also was part of the Asian Pacific American Labor Alliance in Washington, D.C. Many will recall her from her days as a community activist when she also publicly denounced the Marcos dictatorship and led events to bring attention to anti-worker regime. Also, some 2 million women and men in the United States, Canada, and Puerto Rico working in healthcare, public services, property services are members of SEIU, which is known as North America's most diverse large union. About 40% of SEIU members are people of color. Languages spoken across the membership range from English, Spanish, Tagalog, and Vietnamese. Blue served as the chief elected officer of SEIU Local 521, and at that time represented 55,000 public service workers who provided vital community services in the Silicon Valley down to Montera, Santa Cruz, and the Central Valley. Blue's beginnings in the labor movement started about 47 years ago when she was a registered nurse at San Francisco General Hospital in 1977 when she joined the union, where she became more empowered and active and helped organize a successful campaign that resulted in patient care, improved patient-to-nurse ratios, and better working conditions for healthcare workers. At the hospital, she demanded that patients diagnosed with AIDS be given the right to compassionate care and urged public health officials to provide training for all county healthcare and hospital employees to allay the fears of infection and to institute health and safety. Later, she expanded the fight to unite nurses on a national level and was a founding member of the SEIU Nurse Alliance. Her work as a labor activist also include organizing healthcare workers in Las Vegas and organizing thousands of Transportation Security Administration workers, SkyCaps baggage handlers at San Francisco International Airport, a workforce that was about 80% AAPI. While she was a well-known leader in the labor movement across the United States, many Filipinos in the Bay Area and throughout California knew of Blue because of her passion for building better futures for all families. Many will recall her days when she was a lead organizer. Her parents, who immigrated from the Philippines, instilled her drive to help others. Blue never forgot her parents' struggles, which led her to fight for immigrant nurses so they could provide health care in the United States. She also fought for labor rights for undocumented sweatshop women garment workers in Alameda County. She also focused on SEIU's AAPI engagement on a comprehensive immigration reform, dismantling structural racism, and pushing for economic justice for all. So she will be missed. Thank you for this opportunity to pay honor to her, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Councilmember Manalo. Next up, we have another adjournment memory from Vice Mayor Glenn Sylvester.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to adjourn in memory of a Michael Alexander Williams, Sergeant. Michael was born on April 9th, 1950, 3 years before me. He was born in Mobile, Alabama, and he was the youngest of 6 children born to Vivian Williams. Michael's family moved to California in 1965, and he attended high school here in Daly City, where he met Sharon Ann Sims, the love of his life. They married in 1967 in San Francisco, and in 2013, Sharon preceded Michael in death. At the age of 19, Michael joined the Marine Corps and was a rifleman, and he was in the Vietnam War. He worked 33 years in law enforcement, same as myself, with the San Francisco Sheriff's Department and the San Francisco Police Department. He was a highly decorated member of SFPD and developed programs such as the department's Taraval Neighborhood Team, a specialized community policing unit. Michael was a coach and a mentor for most of his life and touched the lives of many youths in his community. Michael and Sharon were blessed with 3 children. Michael was a loving father who always told his children, "I love you." He was passionate about teaching his children to be hardworking, proud, strong, and successful. He did this with both words and actions. He was a strict father who loved fiercely. He had many jokes, tall tales, and words of wisdom that will forever live on within the Williams family. So today was his burial and interment, and I used to work with Mike, and a lot of good stories, a great colleague and a friend. And I did see Council Member Perano as I was leaving today. It only confirms she does work there. But I'd like to adjourn in memory of Sergeant Michael Alexander Williams. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Next, we have Councilmember Perano.
Thank you, Mayor. My sister-in-law, Marcia Grimenesa Perano Flores, Vaca, passed away June 6, 2025. Marcia was born on January 15, 1942, to Gustavo and Virginia Perano in Quito, Ecuador. Marcia was the oldest of 7 siblings, Diego, Pablo, Manuel, Gustavo, and Freddie, and the late Maria. She was married to her husband, Dr. Rafael Vaca, for over 57 years before his passing 2 years ago. She will be terribly missed by her children, Rafael, Ramiro, Maria Augusta, and Ana Fernanda Vaca Perano, and her faithful caretaker, Anita Para. Marcia will always be remembered as a loving, strong-willed person who always looked after her children, husband, and siblings. Her love and generosity will last forever in our hearts. You know, personally, I will miss her smile, her love of music. She loved music. And I thought of you, Tom. She had mariachi. That was a request. She loved great music, and she had that at her service. I'm sorry I was unable to be there, but we've all been praying for everyone, and she will be deeply missed. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you so much, Councilmember Perano. I have a adjournment in memory for my uncle, Amor Salviejo Magbual. If you're a Spanish speaker, you know what amor means. It means love. And it's pretty, my grandpa was pretty, I guess what a romantic would be to name his son Amor, and then my dad's name is Amante, which means the lover. And I want to adjourn in his memory, Amor Salviejo Magbual, who was born December 4th, 1947, and he passed away June 6, 2025. He resides in Badoc, Ilocos Norte, Philippines, in the northern part of the Philippines. He was a son, brother, father, grandfather to many. He was the 5th of his siblings, all brothers from my grandfather's first marriage. And from what I recall, I remember going to the Philippines the first time around. And it was in 1984 and going to where my parents grew up. And I remember seeing all these bus lines. And it's like seeing so many things in transient. And then I remember going up to my dad. It's like, "Hey, Pa, who owns all these bus lines?" "Oh, it's your uncles." It's like, and he fixes all these buses? Yeah, he's good with his hands, Balong, meaning son. And from what I recall over the past, from my lifetime, is that he's always been good with his hands, along with his brothers, in terms of becoming a mechanic. So he started off as a mechanic and just building things to fixing motorcycles to having bus lines, and then at the tail end of his life, just working with his family and his sons in terms of becoming a mechanic for any type of vehicle that's operational with wheels. So, Uncle, and to my family in Badok, just want to send my love to you and all the family on the Magbuals in Badok, and may you rest in peace. And with that, I'd like to offer a moment of silence.